At 133, it's Tyler Masters for Ashland and Paul Wu for the Bobcats, the sophomore from Wheaton, Illinois. He did not wrestle in the first duel of the day for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and similarly to 125 pounds, I think this is a situation where Coach Greenlee's trying to figure out who he wants to be the guy at 133 pounds right now. If you're Mason Brew or Paul Wu, I don't know that that's a bad thing, but I think it needs to be a message to both of you that somebody's got to do the job. Somebody has to be the one to step up and say, I'm the guy. That's my spot. It's my team. I'm going to wrestle because I am the 133-pounder. And so I think we're going to have to see somebody step up and make that decision this year.
Yeah, when it's that type of competition in the wrestling room during practice, I can imagine that allows both guys to really push each other.
Absolutely, and nice takedown right there by Paul Wu, getting his offense started early. But even, a lot of times behind closed doors in practice, results can be very skewed, Sam. And I think what Coach Greenlee's probably more intrigued to see is results on the mat. Who wants to compete? I don't need somebody who wants to win. I want somebody who wants to compete and wrestle. Somebody that wants to wrestle hard for 7 minutes, who wants to mat return people, who wants to get off the bottom, somebody who wants to hand fight, wear people down. He wants a competitor and a warrior on the mat. Maybe not a winner, but he wants somebody who's going to wrestle hard. And so I think that needs to be the message for these guys, right? Is go out and compete openly. Feel open about being able to compete instead of carrying that pressure of what if, and then maybe allowing your style to close down and probably hurting your wrestling.
Paul Wu doing a solid job here in the opening period, as they'll head back to the middle.
Paul Wu, an Izzy style guy. Izzy, one of the premier high school club coaches in the country, and world-renowned, known for kind of his mentality in their practices, how hard their practices are, how hard they train, and a lot of the mental aspect of wrestling. Izzy is very tuned up with his guys oftentimes. So I think Paul Wu has been in that environment. Now I'm ready to see him take that next step and figuring out how he's going to start translating that over into competition as well. Because I know from the stories, talking to Coach Greenlee and things, in the practice room, the dude is he's a grinder.
Speaking of grinders in the wrestling room, Zane Lehman, who we'll see later for the second time, Coach Greenlee said, you may not find a harder worker in the wrestling room than him.
Wu doing a nice job. He's got a half here, and he gets the fall for the Bobcats. So that's a nice job right there for Paul Wu. You want to come out and make a statement, you want to be the starter, and you want to be the guy at 133 pounds, go out and do that. And do it in the way you did it. So that's an impressive job and a good start to the season there for Paul Wu here in dual competition.
Yeah, and he's getting some love from the fans, got a smile on his face. Some big high fives for Paul Wu. Let's take another look here.
And right here you see elbow to elbow. That's the biggest change that a lot of guys are making with their half. We don't want to be elbow deep anymore. We want elbow to elbow so that we were able to kind of get that extra torque. And Wu did a nice job there to do that and get that fall.